It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I think for this month I want to get more into, I've been doing a lot of fucking like review stuff, like trying new whatever, but I want to do more informative shit. Also because one of my friends was like, oh, you don't really do tutorials these days anymore, so since it is December now, I figured, oh, let's do a cute little sort of like Christmas Eve makeup, I guess. The thing is though, Christmas Eve makeup you normally associate with like red lips and like maybe glitter and stuff, which I do not look good in red lips. I just don't, because my coloring doesn't take it. But I guess I'll do a version that if you don't look that good in really strong red lips, sort of version of that you can wear. And for those of you that can handle a strong red lip or just stronger makeup in general, then I would just give you more tips along the way. Now first, skincare. I'm gonna be using SKINFOOD Carotene. I found this through Style Korean and I really liked it. And I found out they had a whole line of this carrot shit. So bee keratin from carrot seed oil, moisture and calming. I always use it on a cotton pad just to wipe down the dust from my face. I always start with this because some people say it's like, oh, it's part of the cleansing routine, but I guess, I don't know. I'm doing it because I know it helps kind of remove any dead skin that's sort of sitting on the surface. Gotta get below the neck, that's part of the face. As a last step, I actually do my ears, which sounds a little bit weird, but also the back of the ears. This is gonna look disgusting, and I literally washed my face just now, but look at this. Actually really gross. Ugh. If you have severely dehydrated skin, like you have dry skin, but you get oily in the middle here, which a lot of people call combination skin, you really wanna hydrate the inside of your skin, right? Especially now that it's cold. I mean, here it's cold at least. It's finally cold in Korea. Y'all, global warming's gonna get our asses. I'm not talking about dry skin, I'm talking about dehydrated skin where the inside is dry. Oftentimes you'll have like the redness on your skin that is usually a sign of dehydration. So I do the first step with the toner pad, and then you can use the same toner in just your hands and pat that all over your face. In general, a moisturizing toner and a moisturizing serum like this, if you have dehydrated skin, it's gonna help you a lot more than trying to use just like moisturizer, like lotion and cream and stuff like that. Lotion and cream, moisturizer, that type of product is more like, you can think of it as like a coating, but if you have dehydrated skin, then it's mostly the inside of your skin that's dry, and lotions and creams and moisturizers, because they're just sitting on top of your face, aren't really gonna help with that. So you wanna hydrate the inside of your skin using products like this. You just wanna make sure it's not the type that has a lot of like AHA, BHA, PHA. That's good for like surface exfoliation, but you don't wanna layer shit like that on because it's gonna irritate with all those exfoliating ingredients. I'm talking purely moisture. And you'll know you have dehydrated skin because you'll like layer skincare like toner and serums on, but then your face immediately sucks that shit up and it feels dry again. That's dehydrated skin. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll layer this 2 or even 3 times sometimes. I'm gonna just use this innisfree Collagen Green Tea Ceramide Bounce Cream. I bought this just on a whim, and I really like it. I think my skin really responds well to ceramides, so I'm really using like the tiniest amount because I already got the moisture from the toner and the serum just now, so this is just to seal everything in. Also, when I'm applying skincare, what I tend to do is spread it onto my fingers here first, wipe it onto my face, and then I pat it in. It's kind of just like my philosophy with putting foundation on. I spread it on and then I pat it in. I know there's like a debate about whether it's better to spread it like this or to pat it in. In K-beauty, you'll see a lot of patting, but some people will say that's just evaporating the skincare from your face. So I don't fucking know. To each their own. Whatever works for you. And it's all absorbed in. You don't want anything to be sitting on top. If you feel anything, just kind of like continue to wipe and to pat. Nothing annoys me more than when influencers will show you a skincare product, literally like dump it onto their hand or their face. They'd be like, oh my God, look at that glow. Oh. Even though it's like literally still wet, it hasn't been absorbed. Also, I got the new DJI Mic Mini. I am testing it. This is the DJI Mic 2. And this is the new Mic Mini. If you're looking for a microphone for like content creation, I know you can also use these for streaming, whether it's on your camera or your phone. Love the mics. They're very easy and convenient. The Mic Mini is a really great budget option if you're not that. If you're just trying to simple shit, because a lot of this stuff is automated. I like to be a little bit more specific about how I tune my audio, so I like the Mic 2. This one is just like a simple version where you just connect it and you go and you start recording. Okay, let's get started with base makeup. I'm gonna be using the TIRTIR Mask Fit Red Cushion, actually in the shade 24W Soft Beige. My skin tone is very muted. It's like I can kind of wear different kinds of foundation shades and they all at the end of the day end up looking kind of the same. So for that reason, I do almost prefer to go lighter in my foundation color. Also because the way I apply foundation is in the center anyway, which, you know, for people that wear makeup, a lot of times they'll highlight the center anyway. So it's kind of doing the same thing in one step. 24W Soft Beige is very, very natural on me. But it's also quite yellow, and you'll see when I put it on, it feels really yellow. But I actually think that's gonna be okay because, well, one, I'm gonna be highlighting with concealer, but two, I'm gonna be using a red lip on my lips later. It's like a cool tone red, and I think the yellow base, it will help balance it out. I think if I went with a shade of foundation that's more like a little bit lighter or more neutral, then the red lip might look too red, and it would feel kind of almost like ghostly. So I'm just gonna use this shade, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And at first, for me at least, when I put it on, I feel like, oh my god, it's... You see how it just feels yellow? It's all gonna work out in the end. Oh fuck, hold on. I forgot my, there you go, my color corrector. Girl, I've been so into people like, oh, I don't know what music you listen to these days. I'm listening to the old J-pop music, girl. I'm listening to my old J-pop faves. Recently, there was a Japanese, I think it's like Japanese American YouTuber that interviewed Crystal K. Oh my god, I was so envious. I want to interview Crystal K. Y'all, please DM her. DM Miss Crystal K, because I know she visits Korea. Because she hangs out with like SAEM and Chancellor, you know, XG's team. So me and Miss Crystal K are breathing the same air. Oh, please, Crystal K, I want to interview her so badly. Maybe even do her makeup or something. That would be like my dream. Like, it looks natural, right? Like, it's like the right tone. It just feels really yellow. And that just comes with the fact that my skin tone really shows color very well. Like, it really makes colors pop in a way. They look more pronounced, so it's gonna feel more yellow. At least to me, it does. So to highlight and to kind of balance everything out so it's not too banana looking on me, I'm gonna use Flower Nose. These are actually concealers. When they released this Midsummer Fairy Tales collection, in the global side, these are actually liquid highlighters in this packaging, but in China, it's concealers. VA03, which is just a light concealer shade. But they also have this one, PK02, which is a pink shade. I'll use that as well. They do have a straight up white shade, but I feel like that's too intense. You see how it helps both brighten and sort of neutralize the color. And it's gonna help our blush that we use later, because the blush I'm gonna use is actually kind of light. And I'm not trying to go for like a blush look. I feel like whenever I watch like Western, oh, Christmas makeup tutorial, they put a lot of bronzer on. And I just feel like that doesn't really give the vibe of Christmas. I understand like wanting to bring some warmth to the Christmas look, but it's like, I don't know, when I think of Christmas makeup or like holiday makeup, I think either a bold lip or sparkle and shimmer. Not necessarily like orange bronzer or orange blush, but again, to each their own. Who am I to judge? Now, to be fair, this is a lot more coverage than I prefer on myself for like every day, but I'm doing it, one, for the video, and two, because the red lip is going to be quite strong, the skin has to look really clean. In general, if you're a cool winter as well, it's really important that you kind of, I've said this many times before, if you're a cool winter, with makeup, you either go big or you go home. A lot of winters look great in like bold eyes or lips, but the skin should look really nice and clean. Otherwise, the smoky eyes or like the red lip can really make blemishes on the face or like imperfections stand out a little bit more. Let me put a little bit of lip balm on, girl. And real quick, I'm going to use the AOU makeup setting fixer. Does it make it last longer? A little, I think. I don't know if I'm just like gaslighting myself into thinking that it's doing something, but I have so many fixtures that I bought because I've influenced by someone, or I was like, no, I'm interested by it, so I'm just using it. But it's not completely necessary. Real quick, need to put some powder on my eyebrows. Again, I have very muted light eyebrows, so I do need to kind of beef them up a little bit for when we do the lip. So I'm using my SKINFOOD brow powder first, just to map out the shape of the brow. I'm not putting on so much where it's like, I'm like filling in my eyebrow. I'm doing this just to get like a backdrop for the pencil that I'm gonna use. I'm going very light with like, this is an angle brush, but it's extremely fluffy. Like it's very loose, the bristle, so it's not gonna put on a strong bit of like amount of color. If you have naturally dark eyebrows already, don't do anything to them. I think sometimes beauty YouTube can make you feel like, or in general, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, sometimes they can make you feel like you have to do shit to your eyebrows. But if you have generally good eyebrows where like the shape is fine, maybe let's say you trim them, okay? Maybe trimming is enough. Sometimes some tutorials or some beauty videos can make you feel like you have to fill in every single little gap. Honestly, unless you have like a huge gap in your eyebrows, a lot of times you don't really need to do much. You see how you can see my skin underneath the eyebrows here? You want to maintain that. If you start filling in every single little gap, it's gonna feel like the brows are like stuck. It's gonna feel very 2016 YouTube eyebrow, like Anastasia brow pomade. So if you already have thick brows to begin with, leave them alone. But you see how even just a slight, I mean, it's like not a huge dramatic difference, but it just slightly made them stand out a little bit more. And now I'm gonna use a pencil to kind of create little brow strokes. If I did nothing else on my face, these eyebrows might look a little too strong, but once we get to the lips and eye makeup and all that, it's all gonna kind of come together. Now, before I powder anything, I'm going to do some cream contour, actually. This is from Tag, the multi-contour stick. This is from Daiso. I personally like to, I mean, I know I got a nose job and all that, but I like it when there's a bit of color on my nose because I feel like that can help make my nose stand out a little bit more, I guess. If I have like concealer and foundation and all that, my nose almost disappears in a way, so I'm basically just adding shadow back in. I really like these Tag pencils because they go on super, super creamy and they're easy to draw with, but they actually dry down quite a bit. I was just put off by like contour sticks or stick stuff in general because I feel like they'll either be slippery and they won't last that long, but this one actually kind of have to actually blend quite quickly because it fixes very fast. Now you see how it just putting some kind of like shadow there just makes my nose stand out a little bit more and just adds dimension again. I actually also put some around my lips. I'll put some here underneath. I'll put some here above my lip and below my nostrils, or my septum, I should say. And then also right here and right here. And this will give my lips some shape. When I blend these two parts, I use whatever's left on the brush on my what is it called? My Cupid's bow? Not my Cupid's bow. This part right here. I forgot what it's called. Very subtle, but it kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing something with that. I think I only talked about this on my Instagram. The AOU Glowy blushes. This is the AOU Glowy Cream Blush. It helps that this was made by one of my favorite artists in the industry, and you can tell because of the stackable component. But they recently came out with the Soft Cream Blush, which is a matte version. And I love the colors because they're the glowy ones are very glowy, and you can actually build up the color. But these ones are, in general, the colors are a lot softer, I feel like. So I'm using the shade Lukewarm Cheeks. And they do have they sell this separately, but I'm not really a fan of them. I like to use my own brush, so they're so blendable, creamy, beautiful gowns, beautiful dresses. I'm using this type of brush to blend it out. It's actually a foundation brush, but I love it for cream shit. You can use like a sponge or whatever, but sometimes I feel like the sponge can absorb too much product and you kind of end up just no more color on the face. So this kind of blends, but also keeps most of the pigment on the skin. And I think with blush, it's not gonna be a very blushy look, because like I said, with winters in general, oftentimes a lot of winters don't really need blush, to be honest, because their features are the things that stand out the most. And by adding blush, you're kind of taking away from your naturally standout features. So if you do wear blush, it should be extremely subtle. And so I think for my particular skin tone, I think this shade, it adds some color, but not to the point where it's like, oh, they've got blush on. I normally like a nice blush look, but not for this one. Okay, now for the eye makeup. It's actually gonna be quite, I lied. Now that I did my cream shit, I want to set my face. Earlier when I did my eyebrows, I used this Flower Nose powder. Now, when I originally reviewed the Swan Ballet collection from Flower Nose, the powders are really weird and they were giving flashback. If I do this kind of base with quite yellow, because this is the purple shade, I think the purple will balance out the yellow, and I actually put a lot on, and I've noticed that actually works out better, and I don't get as much of a flashback, I think. I don't know what the deal with that is. I think when I went too subtle with it, it was giving patchiness. You see how smooth that shit looks? We love a glow, but honestly, you make sure you feel that you actually powdered. Because some people will put such little powder on either their puff or their brush, and they'll be like rubbing it across their whole face. But what really happens is the first spot that they touch the brush with, that's where the powder is. So they're rubbing the rest of their face with basically nothing, and they're scratching their foundation. So I touch my face to make sure that it's actually set and there's powder on it. And that's why I like puff, because actually the puff goes like quite a bit, especially because I use a lot of the powder goes inside of the puff, and so you can keep tapping and powder still keeps coming out. So with the cream blush, you can see how there's a little bit of a subtle color there. Now, I'm kind of a menace. I already did contour. I want to add a little bit more contour, just a little bit more, because I do love a contoured nose. So I'm using the flower nose one. I fucking love this shit. I think it's a little bit ironic though that this as well, they have a contour palette that was only released in China, which actually, because I feel like a lot of flower nose customer base is really pale skinned Caucasian girls, and I feel like that particular palette would make more sense to sell globally. This one suits Asian skin tones more, so I don't know why they would gatekeep the really pale one in China. So I'm just doing here and just into my little eye socket here, and I'm using a bit of, actually no, I was gonna use this highlighter here, but I'm gonna use the matte one because I feel like the matte one is gonna be a little bit more indicative of the sort of winter look. I think using too much shimmer on the nose, if I'm gonna use shimmer, I'm gonna keep it on the eyes. Here between my eyebrows, tip of my nose, kind of just like the bridge. Basically where I would put like a shimmery highlighter. Now for the eyeshadow, I was kind of contemplating what eyeshadow colors I wanted to use because the lips are gonna be so, at least on me, very bold. I'm gonna keep the eyes very, like I'm gonna put stuff on the eyes, but more subtle, I guess. Now, if you are a winter, in terms of colors, honestly, really pale shades are gonna work really well for you. I mean, obviously depending on your skin tone. Generally for winters, the eye's already quite strong. Like you either have a really deep eye color or your lashes are really thick and long. That also includes your eyebrows. Like you can wear a lot of eye makeup. It would look good on you, but you're definitely gonna be going more into the territory of smoky eye makeup, and that's not really the look I wanna give for today. Because when I think of red lip on the eyes, I imagine like almost like a cool gray sort of look, but I'm not necessarily going for like smoky, because usually you associate grayish tones with smoky eye makeup. So I'm gonna go for something more subtle. This palette from Roman, from their recent Black Spectrum collection, would actually be really great for winters because you have those really pale base shades, which are very whitish, but on winters it actually looks quite nice. And then you can use these colors to kind of add depth on like the lash line for like eyeliner and all that. I'm gonna be using these shades. I'm not gonna use these ones because they're a little bit too peachy, so I'm gonna use more of the grayish shades. But if I went straight in with those, they might be too dark. So I'm gonna use this shade from this Romance. They came out with a bunch of new single shadows, and I created my own palette, which I fucking love this combination, bro. This is great for every day. I originally bought this for my Aegis-hire in my inner quarter highlight, which you know I love to do. But because I don't want these to be too dark on my eyes, I'm gonna use this shade all over first. And because I do that, the rest of the eye colors will kind of go on more subtle. I don't normally use a color like this all over my eyes because as a soft summer, I prefer more like muted rosy tones and all that. I'm basically adding like a bunch of shading. And so I never use colors like this all over because it looks a little strange. But if you're a winter or a bright winter, this is the type of color that will look great on you. I put it all over my lid and kind of blend it out here. And now I'm adding a little bit just on like my egg side area. Like right there. It actually goes quite well with the blush that we had on earlier. And to be honest, this and some mascara would also look really cute. Keep it very subtle, but I don't do mascara and eyeliner really, so that's why I kind of have to go in with the eyeshadow, or else this video would like, it'd be over by now. Gonna mix this sort of gray with this gray. You know what? I said I wasn't gonna use it. I'm also gonna mix a tad drop of that. As a makeup artist, it's all about just like mixing and I don't know. Sometimes you really do have to do that though, just to get the right sort of color. And with this, what I'm really doing, I'm keeping a lot of it on the lash line, because what I'm really doing with these sorts of colors first is basically like contouring my eyes, I guess. If I just left it at that one color, it would really make my eyes look swollen because it's just like the bright shade. So I need to add some kind of color, but I'm not trying to do too much color, not too much. That's like the whole thing with this look. Like, do you see what I mean? It's very subtle. I'm kind of taking that sort of like out here, almost in the, like almost like an eyeliner sort of feeling. And then here, right here. Literally, that's all I'm doing. Actually, you know what? It's not all I'm doing. I'm gonna take a little bit of this right here. Now, to be fair, because I'm originally a soft summer, I'm going with these colors. If you are a winter, you can definitely crank the colors up a little bit more and make them a little bit deeper, but for me, that'll be too much. And again, like I said, I want the focus to be the lips. So I'm taking that deeper taupe shade and using that here. Just on the inner bit right here. And that will give more definition to my eyes without it looking too like eyelinery. And also the powder did kind of get on my eyelashes and kind of make them look powdery, so I'm gonna use as a mascara. The brand Milk Touch, they did two things. One, they released a bunch of new shades for their glow cushion. The other brands are coming for TIRTIR's gig. This is the K-Beauty brand Milk Touch, and they're expanding their Milky Glow cushion to 20 shades. But also, they released a new brand called Dear Thing in Daiso, so you can now find their products up in Daiso. If there's any Twice fans out there, you might know this. Jihyo is the brand model for Milk Touch, so if you're once, you might have known that already. But this is their ultra long curling mascara, and this is in the shade number 2, Mute Brown. It's so subtle, but I like that. So calling it ultra long curling, I guess I haven't tried it where like I, curl my lashes and did all that, but I like it because it does tint my lashes lightly. So it kind of gets rid of that powdery feeling that I got from having used the powder all over my face. But it's a very nice natural mascara, especially because it's a very muted brown and not like a reddish brown. Sometimes brown mascaras can be very red, and that's not really the look I'm trying to go for, so it's very subtle. I'm gonna use this Juicy matte highlighter just to add a little bit more like whiteness basically right here. And also a little bit on the center of my Aegis-high. I didn't do Aegis-high makeup because I feel like it would take away from, we want the eyes to be like light and airy. So I'm not using any really deep shades. They're all generally light, very fair to like medium tone shades. So we maintain that feeling of airiness. And another reason I made the eye makeup so simple is because I want it to be a good backdrop for the shimmer, because this is just from Juicy. This one, their limited edition, like smoky collection or whatever. Oh, some people ask me what's the best glitter ever. This is the best glitter ever. I'm putting that. I'm not trying to make it look chunky. I just want it to be like everywhere, but like, I'm tapping because I don't want to like swipe, or else I'm gonna get too much of like a wet eyelids, which is not really what I want. I want it to look more like, when you buy like Christmas trees and you buy like the decorations, like the tinsel, like silver tinsel. I want it to be like that vibe where it's just like, Normally I put it only in the center, but for today, very special, so all over. And also some on the Aegis-high, right here, very close to the lash line. You want to like almost come out of your eye. It's like, oh, I'm crying glitter. If it's too low, it might look a little bit messy, so. This glitter could be a little bit difficult to find, but I know one that is very similar that is a little bit easier to get. This shade there is also very similar. Actually, this palette would have been perfect for this look. Oh, this is a great palette for bright winters or winters in general, because it gives you that sort of like snowy ice queen look. All right, time for the, of course, if you do the full thing, you can do your eyeliner, mascara, all that, or false lace if you want, but I'm just gonna go straight into the lips now. Now, I'm gonna be using the AOU Floofy Matte Bombs. These are fucking fantastic. Great for winter because it gives you that really like blur. If you have dry lips, use a lip mask. These are not gonna be forgiving on your lips because they are obviously a dry formula, but these are perfect for the winter because obviously when it's cold, right, you wanna wear like these sorts of like soft, fluffy, wool types of like, and scarves as well, right? So if you have a bunch of like glossy, glowy, dewy makeup, it will just get, your hair will get stuck in it, the fur from your clothes will get all over your face. That's why I associate makeup in the winter, like when it's cold in general, with be more matte. If you're cool tone, then number 6 Red Bomb is gonna be perfect. These things are so fucking pigmented. It's very classic, blue-based red. If you shear it out, it's gonna look almost like more of like a pink red, but if you build it up, it becomes more deep red. Now, I'm looking at the monitor right here. I have to color grade my footage because especially reds and oranges look really like bright, So in person, this looks a lot more, I'll show it to you on camera here, but in person, it looks a lot more like a deep red rather than just like this bright cherry red, especially when you build it up. So if you're cool toned, this would be the perfect shade. But let's say you are you like more warm tone makeup, or you're more warm tone in general. Say you have really great skin, but you have more like a grayish tone to your face, or you have like dark circles, or like around your mouth it's quite brownish or gray. You might find this type of red would look a little bit too like much, or like it would stand out too much on your skin tone. This type of red, this is number 9 Chili Bomb. This is also red, but it's definitely more of like a warm toned brownie red. To me personally, this gives more like fall, like Thanksgiving red lip rather than Christmas red lip. Cool tones, warm tones. Now, if you ever got your personal color analysis done, and of course they're probably gonna suggest you red lips, but you feel like, why does it look so fucking weird on me? And I see posts like this all the time on like the makeup addiction subreddit, or even like the personal color analysis subreddit, and people are like, oh, I'm a winter, but why do I look weird in this? A lot of it could just come down to your application. I know in the West, they love a nice sharp lip line, but it doesn't suit a lot of people, to be honest, because really the best lip shape to do a sort of really sharp, intense lip line would be someone that naturally already has that. If you are like me, which a lot of people are, where your lip line is very hazy and not really defined, unless you like completely perfect that line, more often than not, it could look a little bit off. This, I guess in the context of the look, it doesn't look that bad, like the color, but the application just looks so like auntie-ish, very like grandma-y, which no shade to the aunties and the grandmas, but like, just slap it on. Just put the color on. Don't try to create a certain shape. Just put it mainly in the center and just... And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take a lip pencil. We're not going for like a brown or like a deep red or anything that matches this. What you wanna look for is a lip color or a lip pencil in a shade that's like very close to your lip color, your natural lip color, because we're gonna use this to blend out the edge. I'm starting here. And what this does is gonna help almost blend this color into your skin tone a lot better than just straight up having it like full strong. And I find this a lot easier than trying to like really shape your lips with using that red color, or even like a cherry lip color, or like, you know, like the MAC cherry lip liner, how they use it to get that really sharp line. If that's the look you're into, okay, but if we're doing it like the K-beauty way, this is usually how we do it here in Korea. And do you see how, yeah, the color is still gonna look a little bit crazy on me, but it just meshes a little bit better. And I'm taking a little bullet eyeshadow brush, blending that line so it's even more blurred out. If you want to do overlining and like make your lips look bigger, the lip liner step would be the step to do it at. See, that's a lot prettier. And even if you wanted to put it even more full on, just make sure you blend out the edge. If you are like me, where you have like a hazy lip line, as long as the edge is blended, it's gonna be a lot easier to wear. I'm taking some more on my finger and like patting it in. Because sometimes all the lip lining and like the blending can kind of make it disappear a little bit. It just has like a final coating in a way. I'm putting some with my finger, and it kind of makes it look more blurry. Now let's say you do like a glossy lip. Just for fun, they do have this glowy tint balm, AOU of course, in a shade that's exclusive to the Hemiko store in Hongdae. You can think of it as almost like a clear lip balm that has a sheer pink tint to it and some sparkle. I thought this would be really fun for this sort of festive holiday look. Oh! Oh! Oh, that is so fucking pretty. Although it's not matte, it does really give like holiday Christmas party vibes, I think. Also, did you like my little, I turned it to a different color for you guys to give Christmas vibes. It's gonna look strange on me, like call it how you want it, but if you're a cool winter, if you're cool tone in general, and you do the whole thing, this look would look so fucking pretty on you. Oh my God, you don't want that. This is a really pretty look though, I love it. Oh, it matches my gray fucking hair. while you don't have to use the exact products, I hope you sort of give this sort of look a try, switch things up for winter a little bit. And yeah, that's it. That's the video. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. At the club.